Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another World Cup review show with me, Stephan from Wheelie FC, and my guest, Carl from the Totally Living Horn Football Podcast. How we doing, Carl?
Yeah, not too bad, Stefan. I won't be on too long with you, especially I've got to get ready for my appointment in 10 minutes to get some new blinds, some blackout blinds right behind me. So that's why I probably keep me on short and brief as the best as I can do. So, yeah.
That's all right. Well, as you know, everybody, the World Cup kicked off last night in Mexico in the Azteca Stadium with not one, but two opening ceremonies featuring Shakira, Burner Boy, and Andrea Bocelli. What did you make to the opening ceremonies, Carl, before we come on to the game itself?
Listen, I like to get straight into the game. You should know my World Cup stats. Open ceremony is just an open ceremony, right? That's how I see it. So let's be bluntly honest here. I'm all about the game, see this. Yes, it was very educational, the open ceremony, which I will admit. But like I said, I was more ready to get engaged in the football to see how Mexico, because we know Mexico at the home World Cups do very well. So that was my main focal point. How would they do in the first game? After not hosting the World Cup since 1986. So that was more vital, to see that as well. And even Joe Baldwin was there, and so forth as well. But for me, it's all about the game. This for that first game. So
Well, I know we're only one game or two games into the World Cup, I should say, but on the evidence of that first game, Mexico did look very, very strong. It only took them 9 minutes to open the scoring against what I thought was a rather weak looking South African team. I've heard that they've been doing their plans and preparations in secret for the game, but we just seem to offer very, very little going forward. And Mexico just blew them away. Mexico actually look very, very strong. Of course, they won 2-0 with goals from uh, Quined and
Quinones and
Jimenez.
Well Jimenez, yeah.
Yeah. What did you make of the Mexicans' performance, Cal, in the first game?
Very good performance from Mexico as expected. It's always huge. They always somehow when they're playing away from home during the World Cup, they struggle a little bit. But when at home, they have huge expectations. They do get beyond the knockout stages. This is one of those teams you got to look out for now,
Yeah.
especially Quinones, who is a naturalized Mexican after he was part of the Colombia under youth setup, and to him get the goal, and Williams, the goalkeeper, he should have passed it to the left, and he passed it, and that was huge to Chipotle, and Chipotle lost the ball, and then Quinones just scored through Williams' legs, and then you know what. Raul Jimenez, getting his first goal in the World Cup, and it's been a long time coming because he could have lost his football career a few years ago after the head injury he had against Arsenal during COVID. He could have lost his life there, but to come and get the goal, it's for someone who's 35, who's
was a bit of an upset with the USA team at 2 a.m. overnight. I think Paraguay is going to win that one. I'm not saying it's going to be a 2 or 3 0, but I think they're just going to edge it against the USA because, as we all know, the USA are a bit of a funny team. Coached by Maurizio Pochettino, of course, who was former PSG and Tottenham manager. However, I just think with the USA, yeah, it's a home tournament. We're co-hosts of the tournament, but I don't think they're going to be strong enough to get past, say, the last 32. I think they will get out of their group, however, but I don't think they'll make it past the last 32, and I think there'll be some shocks and upsets within that group, starting tonight with the game against Paraguay at 2 a.m. in the morning UK time. Bear in mind that'll be about 9 p.m. US time, of course, because we're 5 hours behind us. And of course, we couldn't get off the stream without talking about Scotland as well. Of course, I hope the country's getting into Scotland World Cup fever. We are playing in the early hours of Sunday morning, so late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning, against, of course, Haiti. And if we get off to a right good start and we can dominate the game like we've shown against Bolivia and Curacao, then who knows what could happen, because realistically, with it being a 48 team tournament, guys, you can qualify for the next round, the round of 32, with a win and a draw from your group. So one win and a draw should be good enough for Scotland. If we target the win for tomorrow against Haiti, and then we either draw against Morocco or Brazil, we play Brazil last on the 24th. That's a Wednesday, guys. So if we target a draw for either the Morocco game or the Brazil game, we should be into the last 32. And from there, we could play Mexico, funnily enough, in the last 32. But if we get out of the group stage for Scotland, that'll be an absolute super result, because we all remember what happened the last time we were in 1998. We had that superb draw against Brazil in the opening game in France, 1998. Then we lost to Morocco and Norway, I think it was as well, was in our group, so we lost to it. And needless to say, we've not been in World Cup fever until now. And it's fair to say, guys, on my house, I've got my flag up in the window, my flag up outside. I'm solely behind the boys, as the rest of the country should be. As we all know, pubs are getting a weight license. And apparently, the Monday after the night before, let's just say, is going to be a public holiday, so that's going to be quite cool. Thanks to our Scottish Government for that. Yeah, it's going to be a really exciting weekend if you're a fan of your national football team. And the games will be coming thick and fast now. Like I say, we've got 104 matches. We've already played 2. After tonight, it'll be 9. It'll be 100 matches left in the tournament. This is the biggest World Cup in history. And for Scotland to be a part of it is just amazing. Then for all you English people out there, you will have to wait another couple of days. I think you kick off your World Cup on Wednesday against, I think it's Croatia. So I know that England's had a good sort of warm-up campaign. They played their final friendly behind closed doors rather against a fourth tier MLS side in Miami FC. Apparently they won that one at Atlanta. And I think, excuse me, England will get to be at least the quarterfinals, I would think. They may get further, they may not. We'll just have to wait and see because England on their days we know can beat anybody, as can any one of the teams in this tournament actually. But since we're talking about home nations, we all know England can beat anybody on their day. They got to the finals of the Euros under Gareth Southgate and they narrowly lost out in that tournament. And they're now bouncing back under Thomas Tuchel. Yes, I know a German is mad in England, but that's the way of football these days. And that's just the way football is going.
but they are very good defensively and being creative, So I always said to it, especially had to get through the qualification, just about because, like I said, I think they were on the verge of not getting through, and they actually did get through, in their group, So as well, especially, they've just, they were 8 points ahead of Bolivia. Bolivia had a chance, but and actually they could have finished above Brazil, actually, Stefan, because they're finishing fifth, and they could have been because of goal difference. Paraguay could have finished probably highest third. So it just shows you, Paraguay have got a very good team at this moment. So yeah, very be careful what you see about Paraguay because they could have finished highest third because how Brazil was so poor in the last couple of games as well. Because like I said, Brazil had more losses than Paraguay did. So
Well, this is the thing. I know we've got Brazil in our group, but they can either be hot or they can be cold. They're not to be feared for like they were, say, 20 or 28 years ago when they were a superpower of football. I don't think the teams fear Brazil as much as they would have done, say, 20 or 30 years ago now.
well, here's the thing. I think because with what's with Brazil, I'm going to give you the stuff of what's happened in the last 3 years in Brazil. Brazil, I think it was a match they six and lost to Argentina at home at the Maracanã with automated scored. Then they had that heavy defeat against Ecuador in that World Cup in that qualifying when they lost 4-1 to them as well. And even Argentina beat them 4-1 as well too. And Ecuador getting 0-0 draw when they were so embarrassed the way they lost. Carlo Ancelotti, especially his high caliber, what he's done at Real Madrid, and especially he doesn't even have his son with him coaching the side because I think David Ancelotti is now coaching somewhere else. But yeah, especially this is a big one that Bad Gamble, the Brazilian national team, has taken because Ancelotti did renew his contract for another 4 years through to the next World Cup. So he's going to have a couple of Copa Americas in his belt to get Brazil ready, especially it's to be hosted in South America for the most, in Europe, but also the games in South America as the commemorative games, which Brazil will have any games. So he's got to get this team all ready for it.
Amazing. It must be something on top of the water. Amazing. Shut up. Even the dog joins in, guys. It's Maisie. Look. Maisie! Look, he's at the door. She just started growling. Even the dog gave her opinion on the World Cup, guys. She growled when we said Brazil, so that's a good start.
Yeah.
Maybe with our bread butter. But if Brazil doesn't get off to a good start against Morocco tomorrow, could you see them falling out at maybe the quarterfinals of the last 16?
This is Brazil we're talking about, Stefan. They have, but when you have nearly over 200 million people expected to perform well, that's the pressure you have. Especially, I don't think that we've not seen the Brazil side that we've known in the past, and I think the way it happened at the home World Cup, I don't think they've ever recovered since the home World Cup after losing to Germany. I don't think they have.
I was just going to say that actually. Remember Germany?
Yeah, of course. Everyone does where they lost 7-1, and it felt, and I don't think they've ever recovered from that. And especially with Brazil's squad at the moment, they have to perform. And you're taking the 33-year-old Neymar instead of João Pedro, which was very controversial, as I said to you yesterday. So it's, can Neymar get into this? So yeah, he's gonna, he's missed. I think he's gonna be fit for the tournament because he did miss. He did miss a couple of friendly. He did miss most of the friendly matches. So listen, it's do or die for Brazil now. To quite honest, yeah. If they're bringing Carlo Ancelotti in, if this don't make a difference, then you have to look at thinking the World Cup in 2030 that's the biggest point. So, but like I
Well,
said, it's that can that team compete? Because I have to say they've really got a very huge attacking. They've taken a lot less midfielders. With Edison, who's joining Manchester United, it's shot. This season.
yeah.
Casemiro, Bruno Guimaraes, Fabinho, former Liverpool's at Al Ittihad. You got Luis Paqueta back at Flamengo and Daniel Santos as well. So it's a very, very light midfield. It's a very, very light midfield. It's to make sure they have mostly injury free the next first 3 games.
I suppose if we're jumping ahead a little bit, talking about Brazil Scotland on the 24th of June.
It is a little bit early to say because I think we need to see how Scotland does and Brazil does in the first game.
All I was going to say there was on that one is that John McGinn and to an extent most of the Scotland team have played in some way or another against Brazil's midfield. Probably John McGinn more than most because he's been at Aston Villa for a good number of years now. But John McGinn has come up against Paqueta, Pedro. He's come up against all those players and he's fared well at club football. But do you think it'll differ when it's on the international stage?
It's a huge difference. It's a huge difference because when they're in the club teams, they're not going to put. The tactics are so different. So I don't think it's going to be a huge difference with that one, Stefan. I just think that you can't compare John McGinn will know these players, but Ancelotti will be setting his tactics different to what all the other teams, the teams that they play for. So it's inevitable with that one. I don't think you can compare it. I think that Brazil will be a little bit different the way they'll play differently compared to their club teams they play for.
Okay, so here's another question for you. If by some miracle Brazil don't do well in this World Cup and you get knocked out at an early knockout phase, do you think Carlo Ancelotti will extend his contract?
He will stay in his contract because he just signed that contract 5 weeks ago. And if they paid a lot of money for him as well. If they try to get rid of it, there's going to be a lot of questions because Brazil have gone down the foreign manager route, which they've never done before. They've never done before. So not since probably you go back to maybe back in the mid 60s, 70s type. That's the last time they went with a manager, and it was last match was an Argentinian managing Brazil in a friendly match. And the one before that was a Portuguese that was managing the friendly in the 1940s, and a Hugh Grant in the 1925. So this is the first time that Brazil have gone, for a long time, they've gone for a foreign manager to try to get them beyond the stage. So, and he's the fourth non-Brazilian Ancelotti, second European, the first Italian to manage. So this is so Brazil, the Brazil Football Federation put a lot of effort to get Ancelotti for years. They got him. They got to on his stuff because if it gets knocked out, like you said, it was questioned because, like I said, the reason why Brazil brought him in because the problem was Brazil was on the verge of not qualifying for the World Cup, and they brought him in after Dunga. Yeah, so that's what happened. So
yeah, no, that's true. That's true. So enough talk about the South Americans for a minute, Carl. It wouldn't be remiss of us not to talk about Scotland, of course, going into the early hours of Sunday morning or late tomorrow evening, whatever way you want to look at it. When we open our World Cup account for the first time in 28 years against Haiti. I mean, I've certainly got the flags up. I've got a flag in my window, a flag on my garden fence. How are you feeling, Carl? You must be feeling quite excited too that one of your uh, countries is playing in the World
One,
Cup.
one. I don't have a Scottish citizenship. If I had a passport or whatever, yeah. Well, look, look. For me, as a honorary Scot, that's how I'm going to put myself as an
Yes,
honorary Scot.
yes,
'Cause I've been here for over 10 years
I
now.
would agree.
Yeah, until Scotland gets independence, I will be a full Scot. Okay, that's hands down. All right,
Yeah,
but I think it was huge expectation for a team like Scotland to get to the World Cup. And like I said, they've been crying for, after, going from back to back Euros, you know, of all the turnover managers you had in the past. And Steve Clark is probably been one of your longest successful managers to get you to the tournament. It is huge. And
since 7 years, I think we've had Clark at the helm.
yeah, exactly. You've had it for 7 years, and that's going to be extended for another 4 more years. Till the next World Cup. So, in a way, he's going to be the longest serving Scottish manager, the national team manager, once he even gets to the 2030 World Cup. So, because I can't think of anyone else that's going to take over Scotland if he goes.
I can't, to be honest with you, no.
No. So the thing is, I would say deeper at the moment. Scotland has to, perform well in the first 5-10 minutes because, like I said, we don't know much about Haiti because they've not qualified for a long time as well.
Yep.
So for Haiti, especially they go through a bit of their own turmoil back in their country due to everything as well. So with what's going on there with Haiti, with the Haitian Revolution, and probably since the earthquake in 2010. So it's been a long time. It's been a long, long time. So for that, like I said, because of the US and Canada and Mexico were not in the group qualifications, they had a very, very good, decent campaign. Only lost one game in that matter last year in the qualifications. So the matter of fact is, losing to Peru just back on the 5th of June was not good preparation for them because they've been in the US for the last couple of months actually, to go out into years. So but like I said, it's interesting because Sebastian Migne is been coaching across the African teams. Now he's part of the Haitian of he's never set foot in the country despite he's coaching Haiti because of what's going on. So he has coached a lot of African teams in the past as well. To get to certain of the African Cup of Nations. So yeah, and especially there is two players in the Haitian team that play in England. You got Wilson Isidore,
Yeah,
and now
Wilson, yeah.
now joined after he's got Haitian descent, so he's now committed to it. And you got to John Richard Belgalde, who's at Wolves, the midfielder at Wolves, who joined 3 years ago from Strasbourg. So
Yep.
so Belgrade is now since Belgrade is now finished, they are the first Haitian players that have played in England. So so this is different now. But like I said, I think if Isidore's going to probably be that lead striker up front with Derek Etienne Jr., who's probably there as well. But they have got the goal scorer, Duckins Nazar, I think he's one of the top goals. He's the all-time goal scorer for the Haitian national team. So and he has also had a bit of time as well in Duckins as well in England as well at Wolves. He didn't play for that season. He had time at Coventry and Oldham. So, and he also had a bit of a brief spell at St Mirren as well too. Stefan at St Mirren in 2019. So, yeah. So this is going to be interesting how Haiti does deal with their first game against Scotland because it depends how Scotland plays in their first couple of minutes. If they don't perform well, Haiti probably will counter attack, and that's what the Paul will be doing with their tactics for the next couple of games.
Yeah, and let's not forget, it's Haiti's first World Cup since, I think, 1974.
Yeah.
So even longer than Scotland, even longer. So Haiti must be buzzing as well for tomorrow's game.
Yeah, but it's a shame that most of the fans can't watch them because of they've been part suspended, so it's a bit hard. I think that the people that's based in the US will support their team. It's a shame that what's happened with the country as a whole because of the revolution, of not having a government over there. It's and from what I've seen, seeing clips and stuff in the past. It's got to be a turning point for Haiti where they can actually grow as a country. But they are very poor. It's a very poor country, like I said, because they're not far from Jamaica. So from in that Caribbean sea. So in a way, everyone does expect. I think everyone in the Caribbean expects Haiti to do quite well, because they're kind of one of the only last hopes, because after what with Jamaica not getting through, as well. So yeah.
Right, Cal, if you were a Scotland player and it's the day before the biggest game of your career, what would you be doing to prepare for the game, Cal? How would you be feeling right now?
Just relax. Just relax. RELAX, relax. Don't stress about it. It's not huge pressure. Just just enjoy it. That's what Roy keeps saying. Just enjoy it. Don't be stressed about it. Just relax. Just take time out, just having a laugh and a joke, because sometimes these teams come in serious and they're too focused on not the too focused. I think Scotland just need to just relax and look well. For the incident, what I've heard today, there was a snake that was near the training ground in Charlotte, North Carolina, that was reported. So technically, maybe
a snake in the grass.
Yeah, snake in the grass. So pretty much, maybe the Scottish players could just laugh it off and just not be stressed, not worry about it, because I know there's going to be pressure from the 5 million Scots, expected better. But in a way, it's the first tournament since 32 years and they've not qualified. Just have a good smile. Even though Roy Keane would hate it, but just have a bit of good laugh and joke when you get to the stadium. Then you get into that mode of just get ready to get your competition face on. So yeah, just have a relax and just lead up to the game,
I must admit, Roy Keane's comments over John McGinn last night, I was trying not to laugh.
Of course not, I know.
I was trying not to laugh when he was saying that John McGinn's a good player, but he's not the best player I've seen in that Scotland squad. I was like, what?
He might have a point to say, because there were some good players in that Scottish midfield.
Oh, of course, totally, yeah. McTominay and all that jazz, but yeah. I mean, why would you openly come out in the studio and just go, he's not the best player, then
it's Roy Keane. It's Roy Keane.
Look on your face.
It's Roy Keane, for crying out loud. Roy Keane's, that Cork, that the man from Cork, he's got to say what he has to say. So you got to let So that's it.
He just loves that wee bit of controversy, doesn't he?
He loves it. He loves it. He loves it, but deep down, when you get to know Paul, he's a good laugher. He's a good person to laugh and joke with, for what people have told me. And actually, especially has now been on social media, seeing his pictures of him and his family. He's a good, honest man, and especially his family man as well, because his daughter is now launching a new cereal because she had a bit of a certain condition. She's trying to launch a new cereal to help her, to awareness. So deep down, Roy Keane, yes, we take him serious as a pundit because he's no nonsense, but deep down, you can have a laugh and a joke with him.
Of course. So, Carl, it's prediction time for tomorrow. What do you think?
Well, there is one game tonight because we need to go through the Canada best.
Yeah, okay.
Canada best. I think Canada will come through this game and they will get it. It will be a couple of goals in it, but I think there'll be nervous times. So I think Canada will win it just 2-1 against Bosnia. Then tomorrow, the big game tomorrow on between USA and Paraguay. I said USA has got huge expectations because last time they hosted the World Cup, they didn't get too far in that time. So this is different. So this is the different team that is, because majority of the players are now playing in Europe. They have to perform well on the pitch to get the headlines across the US. So yeah, my prediction I did put down, because I've not put a prediction down for that game yet on Doug's Super Brew League yet, because I've
done that already.
No, I've done that already. I have done it already. I have put USA to beat Paraguay 2-0.
Ooh, and of course for the Scotland game,
I can see Haiti scoring, but I think Scotland will win it 2-1. It'll be nerve-wracking,
Oh, now that's interesting, because bear in mind, I'll give you my predictions in a minute, guys, but bear in mind, Haiti took the lead against Peru inside the 15th minute, and they really didn't all the way until the 10th minute, and Peru won it 2-1.
Yeah.
So that is very interesting. Could that be an omen for tomorrow evening? Who knows? We shall just have to wait and see. Now, in terms of my predictions, I think Canada will also win tonight, but I think it will be closer. I think it will be 1-0. I think the USA and Paraguay will be a 1-0 draw. And I think Scotland will win by I think it's going to be close. I think it'll be a 1-0 or 2-1, similar to South Cal.
Yeah, yeah, it's not surprising. I do agree with that. It's just, as the way I've seen it, it's looking at the USA Paraguay head to head stuff. I think the USA have only beat Paraguay, which was 10 years ago in the Copa America in the US 10 years ago. Canada but we have not played, have never met in a tournament, so it's new with that one. But I think seeing what the preview saying, I think I wouldn't surprise that most of the majority of us in the league are going to go with Canada. But like I said, you got Edin Dzeko there, who's played for big clubs around Europe. So you got to be very careful, especially he's 40. He still has the legs, So
Well, not being funny, but look at Lionel Messi, for example.
that's true. Well, Messi's a lot shorter than Dzeko. Dzeko's so tall, and similar to what Peter Crouch's height is. So, but I think what Dzeko's done is, because of his stature, how he's, coming from a war-torn country and that nearly close, and actually he's been the father of that team for a long time. So he's been the father of the Bosnian national team for a long time since he's been in it.
Do you think this will be Edin Dzeko's last World Cup for Bosnia Herzegovina?
This is his second World Cup, so because they're not qualified as much. So especially he already knows that this was the World Cup that he was going to finish his international career and probably his career all in general, and his whole football career. So I think he's still got time at Schalke left. So yeah, I think he was already was going to be done after this, because at his age, I can't see he's going to be what 44, 45 at the next World Cup. So. I don't think, Bosnia don't qualify for the World Cup as much. So I think this was always, especially this is his last of being played in his height, So yeah, it's not surprising at all. I think, especially because he's now at Schalke, I think they're now back in the Bundesliga as well now after they got promoted. So he's not. I don't know what he's going to be doing after the World Cup, because I think he might retire. So we will see.
And of course, the other dilemma we've got, Cal, for Scotland is, who do we start in goal tomorrow? Do we give the gloves to 41-year-old Craig Gordon, or do we stick with Angus Gunn at number one?
You stick with Angus Gunn. Actually, you got to stick with Angus Gunn. I love Craig Gordon to do it. If he could actually break that record of being the oldest goalkeeper. But I could just see at the moment it will be Angus Gunn will be in goal for. I think Craig Gordon will come in mainly for the Brazil game, but I think Angus Gunn will start the goalkeeping.
See, I don't know. I think I would let my heart rule my head on that one, just because of his international record and superiority over Angus Gunn.
Yeah, and again, there's a 30 age gap because of with Gordon now 43. But I think Angus will start. I think Gunn will start. Because it's against the lesser teams. Gordon will come in probably for the Brazil game, because that's the more important game to try to keep him under the wool, and probably Morocco as well.
Yeah. So you think Gunn will be in goal for Haiti and Morocco, and Gordon will come in for the Brazil game?
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, because I would say that or Gunn might come in, because if you look at that Moroccan side, it's very formidable. Especially you got players, Tabli as well as Brim Diaz. So I think Gordon might come in either for the game against Morocco or the last game against Brazil.
And technically, Morocco are the African nation champions of 2025.
Well, yeah.
Even though it was one of those sort of, let's say, a technicality.
Yeah, just remember they had a bit of bias. They had a lot of bias there, especially because of what happened before the World. Before there's been a lot of controversy with Morocco hosting that AFCON anyway, because of the issues with the royal family. So technically, there is a bit of a situation now of because I know that Senegal is still appealing it. We don't know what's happening at the moment. So
they're still appealing it apparently, and the trophy is under armed escort at an armed military base, apparently.
It's under that at the moment, because Morocco was awarded that win controversially, despite Senegal won it 1-0. So at the moment, we're still, until I don't know where we get the outcome with that decision. I think it's going to be a while, because we've not heard nothing since March, since CAF acknowledged that Senegal did appeal that decision. So we won't know yet.
It'll probably be at the same time as we hear on Man City's 121
115.
Well, 115.
Well, the thing is, Stefan, the CAS needs to make a decision, because next year AFCON is going to be played in the summer, so they need to make a decision on that one, basically because of that. So we'll sit. Until then, we'll just have to assess it and see what happens with that one, because I said no one knows what's going to happen. So until we get that decision, because like I said, Man City's decision is not gone through CAFs. So let's leave the club football for the side, because we're not dealing with Man City's case at the moment, because we're not going to know. So
So basically, viewers, what we've established is Canada's going to win tonight. USA, Carl thinks are going to win, but I think it's going to be a score draw. And we both think Scotland's going to get off to a winning start against Haiti. And if they do get that winning start, we will possibly see Steve Clark smile in a post-match interview for the first time ever. Because normally it just gives a wee cheeky smirk to the camera.
What time's Canada playing now?
Canada is 8 o'clock. So I'll give you the kickoff times for tonight, guys. Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina is 8 o'clock in the UK. The USA and Paraguay is 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK. And of course, the big game tomorrow, Scotland Haiti, is 2 a.m. in the morning in the UK.
On Sunday morning.
Sorry. Wait, Saturday night, Sunday morning. Yeah.
It's technically Sunday. Thank you.
Sunday again.
It's very weird, guys, because it is late. So yeah, technically it is Sunday.
Thank you. Stephan, when it gets past 12:01 at midnight, that is actually Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the build-up starting at 1:10
you mean
on Sunday morning.
Before I kick off?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, the build-up officially starts at 1:10 in the morning, guys. With the 2 o'clock.
Good luck with that, because you're gonna need a lot of Red Bull. You're gonna need a lot of Red Bull for that. So just
I think I'll drink maybe 10 bottles of gin. Keep me awake.
Aye, that's it, exactly. Yeah.
Like Killer Helen in the background.
I can't deal with that. That'll be the longest hour in my life.
Well, technically it's only 50 minutes.
I've got to go to sleep and wake up at 1:45.
If you do that, see, guys, we can have a laugh on this podcast too. But
especially when it's hell in the background, right? Especially when it's hell in the background.
So, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow, guys. I think I'm going to go for a sweep sort of early evening, so I'm a bit more fresher come 1:10 in the morning for the
Listen,
build up to the match.
I've tried that in the past, mate. It don't work. I tried that, so.
Okay, Carol, so give us some tips then. What would you do?
Okay, then.
Red Bull for a fiver. You'll need to drink 4 of them before that.
Well, okay. First is first. If you're gonna still play, make sure you invest in some proper black. If you got some blackout curtains, close. Just close it. It will help you still think it's nighttime because of how the body review your clock. Second of all, make sure you have enough hydration. That's the more vital thing, and especially if you got some good alcohol beverages and stuff, you can make some good decent cocktails that can actually help you stay up a little bit.
That's exactly what I'm going to do, Cal.
Exactly. So yeah, the tip is keep hydrated. Close your curtains and the blinds because they do make a difference to especially how the light is here in the UK with the weather. That's what I would suggest you with that one. Yeah, and then
and drink alcoholic beverages too.
Yeah, not too much, but a good decent amount that can help you. That keeps you alert.
Yeah, with a whack of Red Bull inside it too, huh?
Yeah, well, vodka Red Bull works, and rum, and even rum and Red Bull works.
I don't think it does. Vodka and Red Bull make me want to go to sleep.
Well, no one here because he didn't stay up as much as last night to watch the South Korea Czech Republic. He definitely needs it for the game of Sunday morning.
Alan, you don't stay up. You're an English fan.
And they don't take off till Wednesday, folks.
Yeah, at least I'm not till 11 o'clock. So I get at 11 o'clock, so I can stay up.
You've not got one game past 2 a.m., Mister.
Carl, I'll give your number. I'll phone you at 2:30 in the morning when Scotland score their first goal.
Fine. My phone right here. It might be on Do Not Disturb or sleep mode. If it's not, if one of you wakes me up, someone's dead.
So you heard it here first, guys. Helen McKenna thinks Scotland is going to score the first goal within inside half an hour.
But I think it'll be 3-2. I think Hattie will score 2.
Ooh. There you go.
Now that could be interesting. All right, who's your scorers for Scotland then, Helen?
I would say Shanklin, but I do like him.
Shanklin will score.
Shanklin will score,
I've been even.
I think McTominay or Robertson will be the first because they wanted me.
Ooh, okay.
Listen, Shanklin will start. It looks like he's definitely going to start now because everyone.
100%. He scored twice in the friendlies. He'll start.
So you've said first goal either goes to Robertson or McTominay. Who did your second goal?
Shanklin will score second or third.
Who does your third goal go to then?
I reckon Shanklin could score 2 of them.
Ooh. What about the man in the window there, John McGinn?
Oh, I don't care. It depends if he's on pace or not, because he's too hyper. He thinks everything's funny.
I
love John McGinn to death, but he's too hyper.
She does have a point there, guys. Let's be honest.
John McGinn needs to take a rattle and he can't settle down before he gets on the pitch.
Because
listen, I don't know if you knowing my good friend Andrew Rogers, because he's good friends with John McGinn because he knows his family quite well.
I love John McGinn.
Yeah.
Because we all know what happened to poor John McGinn after the Europa League celebration.
John McGinn like he didn't care what, because he can't escape a putting a goal in.
He missed it because he missed the celebrations because what did they have to do?
The drug test is too hyper.
Exactly.
Listen, you lot, listen, I'm going to say this to you. Everyone when it comes to drug tests, right? It's all invalid, and pretty much it's like, so you get.
Some of them I look at on the pitch and I feel I think they've just took a likeness to them.
Hey. Okay. What's worse then? John, we can get drug tests or David Maradona screaming into the camera when he scored and he got drug tested and he got suspended for the rest of the night.
Well, there you go.
Which one are you gonna take? You're gonna take
the camera.
100%.
Thank you. Right. You take the exactly. So
Oh man.
John McGinn's my father. I like John McGinn. He was amazing with my nephew. He's just amazing with the kids.
I love John McGinn. Everybody loves John McGinn. And I could maybe see him creating a few chances.
Oh, aye. John McGinn will create chances. There's no getting out for that.
Sunday morning at 2 a.m.-ish.
But what I'll tell you is if I sit up to watch Scotland and they get beat, I'm going to my doctor to claim mental health for tiredness and that Scotland never scored and I had to stay up all night.
I don't think
so you'll not have a carer.
I don't think that'll just be you. I think that'll be the whole entire country.
of course it will be the whole entire country.
I'll say I'm totally depressed. I stayed up all night and Scotland will be. I need a sick one.
I think that'll be the whole entire country doing that if it comes to that on
If Scotland are getting beat at half time, I'm turning off and going to bed.
On the Monday or Tuesday morning. But what you've got to remember, Wilhelm.
No. Fader to show up in 45 minutes. I'm going to bed.
No. Listen to this. What you've got to remember is Haiti were 1-0 up against Peru in one of their friendlies before
the last friendly, yeah.
They scored in 15 minutes and until the last 10 minutes. Then Peru scored 2 goals.
Scotland will be dead come the 78th minute with the heat. I mean, you better play them in snow and rain.
Well, that's why we've been in the USA for now on 2.5, 3 weeks now.
Yeah, but they've technically been in there a little bit longer because they couldn't play their games in Haiti, so they have been in the US for quite long.
Scotland might play better than the Heat.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, by the way, I watched that friendly the other night there. I said, look at them all out.
Yeah, just remember Haiti's not far from Jamaica. It's one of the places that gets hot as well. So you might as well realize they're used to that climate. You guys, us guys are not.
That's the thing. But like my partner said, they might play better than the Heat. He just didn't again.
Well, we played Bolivia guys. And,
Bolivia were rubbish. I mean, you can sit there and say all you want, Scotland walked over Bolivia, but Bolivia were like a parent's football. Bolivia made Scotland look amazing.
On that bombshell, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean,
totally did. Bolivia, I mean, come on. You may be a Scotsman, but Bolivia made Scotland look totally world class, which is certainly, I don't know.
Give me your thoughts on the Bolivian goalkeeper, please.
Oh, he looked like what's him that sings I Want to Break Free. What's his name?
Freddie Mercury.
That's what he looked like. I mean, he was terrible or not, to be honest. But I mean, the whole team made Scotland look like they did make Scotland look world class.
Let me guess. Was it Lampert? Was it Lampert, the goalkeeper, the Carlos Lampert? Yeah.
Oh my
God,
he looks. I mean, I thought you looked like a 70s porn star with that moustache.
I'm not gonna lie to you. From seeing it, yeah. Oh God, bloody yeah. Oh no, it's Visakara Buckner. Yeah, jeez, no wonder. That's no wonder.
Right. If you watch that Bolivia game or whatever it is, did you see Scotland in the second half? They were playing how they usually play. They're red fun.
No wonder Bolivia missed out the World Cup because they actually lost. You know, the worst thing was they lost to Iraq in the playoffs in that World Cup.
2-1.
They are so bad. Seriously, they are so bad.
2-1 they lost to Iraq and Iraq qualified for the World Cup.
Yeah.
People are saying Scotland played well. Scotland, the Bears football team played better. I mean,
Helen, calm down, okay? I know. Relax. Cool it, okay? Yeah. Hi.
But of course, we do have to send our condolences to Scotland midfielder Billy Gilmore, who will be travelling with the squad, but he's not able to take part in the World Cup at all because of the injury he suffered against Uruguay to his knee.
It's a big risk taken on Tyler Fletcher, especially. Yeah.
Well, if you ask me, guys, I think Daddy had a lot to do with that.
Of course he did. Daddy Fletcher. Yeah, we all know that.
Oh, I think that was the biggest mistake Scotland made. There was way better players than him to put in. By a mile.
Because you seen in the second half against Bolivia, for as bad as they were, when Tyler came on, he did give the ball away a couple of times in threatening areas.
So if you're not gonna if because of Gil Walker, would you just play Ryan Christie or even I'm gonna say Lewis Ferguson is gonna be he's a more
Yes, I would play anyone over Tyler Fletcher, and I'm sorry, I just don't think he's World Cup ready.
No, definitely not.
It's surprising that his brother's playing for England youth setup and he's playing in the Scottish.
That was
I know. Is that because of English? Well, it's not obviously English grandparents because Dan Fletcher's Scottish. So what's the connection there?
Well, the connection was because they both were born in England. They both were born in England. But because of Tyler could have. No, Jack could have actually played for Scotland, but he's now. I think he's gone through the England route than the Scotland route. So, yeah, because both of them, so Jack did play in the under-16s for Scotland only 3 times, and then he went back to England. So there was, and so did Jack. So yeah, so the both. So I was surprised both of them, not just one, but both of them didn't even commit to Scotland. One is committed to England. So
was a lower game last week where Tyler was on the pitch, but his brother was on the bench for the other team.
Yeah, because Jack is gonna be is now. I think Jack's getting closer to be in England's under 21 squad because I know Lee Carter is looking at him. So there is a chance there that is gonna probably be
So you can switch back allegiance if you play in the under 16s.
If you can switch allegiances in the youth setup, and once you commit to the full national team, if you play like a qualifying game,
that's you done. You can't change, is it?
You can't change. But if it's only less than a friendly and stuff, you can change.
Okay. What a weird FIFA ruling / UEFA ruling that is.
No, it's a FIFA ruling.
What a strange one then.
Because I think in a way that's why do you think the Russian national team in 2018 had 1 or 2 players that were not from Russia because they're naturalized. So in a way,
true,
if you don't get written for yeah.
And before we finish, Carl, what did you make of Giovanni Infantino last night during the Mexico game?
Do you know he's a joke? He's cancer. He's embarrassing, and I'm not gonna lie to you.
So would you say he's Sepp Blatter too?
Of course he is. It's a lot worse than Sepp Blatter. At least Sepp Blatter, admitted to his mistakes and criticized, very critical of what FIFA is now. But after, like I said, there was a weird thing in the commentary with John Champion saying that the Mexican president is unpopular with the Mexicans. When I looked at her, no, she's not. She's actually very popular in Mexico, actually. So I'm like, don't know where you're reading it from, the way he said. I'm like, bloody hell. But
apparently, to give her more popularity, she gave one of her tickets away to a lady who couldn't afford a ticket to the
exactly.
game.
That just shows how much Mexico does care. The Mexican president does care about the people. So technically, she was not. She didn't want to be like. She's very. So that's why I was thinking, why would the commentator say that she's unpopular? I was like, no, she's not. Actually, if you don't read the polls popular, she is popular because I do know my politics quite well across the globe. So I was a bit surprised when she said that. John Chapman said that. I was like, no, why did no one correct him then? You know what? That this is what it's gonna be like. You're gonna just give misinformation out. Yeah.
And also, of course, for the first time in a big national tournament, we had the 3-minute hydration breaks as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a good thing, but also I think just to get more tactics and
eventually, yes, you have to. But just remember, I don't know, because you've never been across the Americas like I have, Stefan.
No,
it's very intense hot. And that's something especially with climate change, is happening much as well. And I think with Mexico's, it's had with the heat wave, especially with the US as well, it can get intensely hot. And that's something because of the hydration breaks, because the heat is going to be intense. and especially
Yeah,
playing it
100%.
both.
And I'm all in favour of this because even Ali McCoy said he was struggling to get up to
He
the
did the
commentary
gantry,
box
yeah.
yesterday.
He said he struggled to get up to the gantry. Yeah, I was like, okay, yeah. It's not surprising because of Mexico's altitude. I think it was like 1.5 times higher than Ben Nevis. So it was like, okay, there's
Yeah,
his,
and
yeah.
the stadium is built 1.5 meters above sea level, not below sea level, above
Above about
sea level.
5,000, something like that. Yeah, it was like 5,000 above, so meters. Yeah,
And it's also built into volcanic rock too, so it just goes to show how old the stadium actually is, considering it was built in '66 for the '86 World Cup.
well,
There you
it
go.
was built in '66 when they before the World Cup in 1970. Remember, because they hosted the 1970 World Cup.
Well, that's true. And then, of course, it got switched from, I think it was Colombia to Mexico in '86.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so the altitude of the Azteca is around about 7,200 feet above sea level.
Yes. And
So
there you go. That is your history fact of the day, guys. I'm sure there'll be another one tomorrow or maybe on Sunday once we've played Haiti.
well,
Um,
it could be the first time Scotland lose to one of the lowest ranked nations if that does happen. So, in history, that could be down in history, but
and,
hopefully it's not.
and no, but just say it because we have to remain impartial on the podcast. Just
Do
say
we? Do we? Do we,
well,
Stefan?
no, but
Yeah, not
you
about
know
the
what,
impartial. Well,
you
yeah.
know what I mean, though. You know what I mean. But just say the unthinkable did happen, and Haiti did beat us. Would you see that as a case for national embarrassment? And why would?
Yeah, of course you would. It's Haiti. It's Haiti for crying out loud,
I know I would, but just imagine if I don't know, Croatia beat England. That's not going to be such a seismic shock,
No, and
is it?
especially listen, we had Paramount in the 2018 World Cup, and we beat them.
Exactly. You,
That's not
you
going to be the
beat
worst
them at a
situation.
canter
Yeah,
in Russia 2018. So it's kind of renewing a rivalry there, but it's kind of not because you've only
what
paid.
England, Croatia?
No, Panama.
Oh
Because
yeah,
you've only
that Paramount team was very very bullish because they were very physical and they knew they were going to be physical against us, and the way they were trying to with their bloody aggressiveness. So that's going to happen again. We know that. So yeah.
okay. Okay, man, if you're talking about aggressiveness just before we finish today's episode, Cal,
Mm-hmm.
who would be your most dirtiest team of this World Cup? Going out on a limb.
Good
Give me
question.
one minute.
Okay. That's a good question. That one. Listen, it's a hard one to say because I don't.
It is.
Because like I said, until I see the teams play and how physical, it's hard for me to say. I think I probably will answer that at the end of the World Cup because I rather that because, like I said, it's so hard to see who was more who was the dirtiest. I just don't know. It's hard to say at the moment. Oof. Yeah,
I mean,
I probably say maybe because it's Bielsa and they play good. I would say probably Uruguay, but I'm gonna hold
Uruguay,
on.
yeah.
I'm gonna hold off on that one until. But I can see either Iran or Iraq could be one of the dirtiest teams because especially with the middle, the Asian teams, they can be a bit dirty in the Middle East. So
Yes.
I would hold, but I'm gonna hold off on that one until I get that stats up. When we get the stats at the end of the World Cup, who was the dirtiest team? So especially when it comes to the discipline. So
For me, this one might shock you, but I think the Socceroos would be in with us out as well.
they're not being that dirty because they're not being that dirty. They don't play that dirty soccer. Well, I've never seen them play that dirty because they've been very disciplined so well. So the Socceroos are quite usually good are good at really being consistent because they've never had much of. Okay, compared to what happened in the past between Portugal and Netherlands, when the game the game in Nuremberg 20 years ago, when there was how many there was multiple yellow cards and 4 or 5 red cards in that game.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that's going to pan out with that one because I don't know. It's hard to say if that could happen, but maybe I can see why you put Australia with that one. But yeah, I think Iran is going to be so very, very physical and very, very like they did against England in the last World Cup. They were very, very, very dirty. So yeah, I'm going to wait and see with that scenario with that one first.
And you've got Uzbekistan and what was the other team I was going to mention? Uzbekistan and Jordan as well, actually too. So
yeah. Well, let's see. Let's see how it goes outcome after the group stages, and then we could go look at the discipline area, the stats when we get the stats up. Who's to be the discipline? Because at the moment, it's hard to say anyway. Especially who's going to win which team's going to win the Fair Play Award. So yeah.
Well, yeah, I keep forgetting there's a Fair Play Award at the end of this.
Yeah.
Could it be Scotland? Who knows?
No, it'll be England. England, probably England again like last time.
Yeah. Anyway, Cal, on that bombshell, thank you for joining me again today for the sort of first episode of the World Cup review show. I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. with another review show reviewing obviously tonight's games between Canada, Bosnia Herzegovina, USA and Paraguay, and there was another one as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy my time off tomorrow. I'm gonna let you do your thing.
Yes.
I'm gonna just and also Sunday as well because I'm off on Sunday point blank because I'm busy catching up with some people and I'm trying to
Nice.
So I'm having this weekend is my free time. So yeah.
Nice. Well, thank you once again, Cal, for joining me. Remember, guys, you can search for the Totally Waving Horn Football Podcast on YouTube. I will pop a link in the description of this video. Do follow and subscribe to the channel. All the social media handles are down the bottom. Take care, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.